guys, and welcome back to my parents' kitchen. Today we are making something very different, and my father never made it, so I'm all by myself on this recipe. We are making Dalgonas from Squid Game. Hopefully I said the name of the recipe correctly, I'm not quite sure, but let's go. For our ingredients, very simple. Sugar and baking soda. Only 2 ingredients. But for the rest of the equipment, there's a lot of stuff. I'm really not sure how to make this recipe the best way possible, so we will try a lot of different things throughout the video. For our equipment, the main thing you want is something to cook your sugar in, something with a flat bottom to press your caramel after, and something to press your caramel on. So a silicone mat or wax paper. And in the end, like in Squid Game, you need to have a shape to see if you live or die. So I will make some room and we'll start off our first attempt at making a Dalgona. Let's see if it goes well. For our first attempt at making Dalgonas, let's grab our sugar. I will put 2 soup spoons, about 30 grams of sugar inside our pan. I will heat my pan onto medium. And what I saw online is people mix the sugar with a chopstick. Let our sugar melt slowly on medium heat to create a nice caramel. The most important part is not to burn the caramel. First off, you'll ruin your Dalgona, and also you're gonna waste a lot of time at the sink trying to clean it up. After about 30 seconds, my sugar is starting to melt nicely together. We'll stir. I will bring it all together. At this point, we'll add a pinch of baking soda, so half a pinch. We'll incorporate the baking soda with our chopstick. Starting a nice chemical reaction. Turn the heat down on my pan. Bring it together. And we'll put onto our baking tray. Bring it together. This is our first attempt at a Dalgona. I'll grab something with a flat bottom and press. Remove. We'll grab our shape, put it on top, and remove. Alright, my first Dalgona looks a little bit too cooked. After about 15 seconds, it crisped up just a bit. It's nice and hard. With a spatula, we will go underneath, and there we have it. I have to admit, it's not the prettiest Dalgona ever. The color isn't quite right, and the shape is not perfect. We'll try again with a second attempt. After consulting with my father, we are trying attempt number 2. In our pan, we will add 3 soup spoons of sugar for a total of about 45 grams. Turn the heat onto medium-high, equalize, shake and bake, and wait for it to melt just ever so slightly. For round 2, our chopsticks, we won't use it. My dad recommends I use one of these. Bring the sugar in, tourne retourne. Our sugar is starting to form crystals, it's starting to caramelize, but we're not quite at the stage where we want to put our baking soda in. Bring it all together. We want to have a nice even texture. And at this stage, heat on very low, add in our baking soda. A bit more this time, heat completely off, and mix it in. We'll bring our caramel onto our tray, spray, and pray. Alright, attempt number 2 was worse than the first attempt. Problematic. Cut. After 20 seconds, our piece of caramel is hardened. Our second attempt was not good, I have to be honest with you guys. First attempt, second attempt. Hopefully after the third time we'll have a good result. Moving on to our third attempt. We'll reduce our sugar to 30 grams, so 2 soup spoons. That seemed to work on the first attempt, about that much. Heat onto medium this time and not medium high. And let it melt slowly this time. This recipe is really easy to make, but it's hard to execute. Everything has to go perfectly. It's 2 ingredients, but how is it so hard? Our caramel is starting to form, our sugar's melting nice and slowly. Annihilate the sugar, crush it all up. We have a nice yellow color. I will turn my heat completely off this time. We'll add in a pinch of baking soda and mix. And we'll move over and we'll put onto our baking tray. We'll press, we'll wait, we'll unstick, and our shape on top. And as we can see, our shape did not stick because something happened and it's not nice and smooth. It seems that there's some stickage happening on the bottom of my pan and the Dalgona. So we will try with a different top. After 25 seconds, it unsticks. It's not great. The color's getting there. There are some pros and cons to each situation. So let's recap. Our first one, we managed to put the shape on. Our second one came out disastrous. Our third one is kind of a mix of both the first one and the second one. We're slowly getting there. There's some things that are working and other things that are not working. And with that being said, let's move on to round 4. Fourth attempt. I consulted with my mom and we're changing things up just a bit. I will put 2 soup spoons of sugar into my pan, and this time we'll go slowly but surely. Heat on medium to medium low, and now the chopstick is coming back. And we'll mix until nice and melted. We want to do about 100 to 150 tournées-retournes. If you want, you can count, but take my word for it. We do big tournées-retournes, small tournées-retournes, but just let your sugar melt. Our sugar is starting to melt. We'll keep at our tournées-retournes. Bring the sides in the middle, bring the middle on the sides. Turn the heat off. This time we'll let it rest about 15-20 seconds while constantly stirring. We'll add in our baking soda. This time half a pinch. Incorporate. And we'll pour it out. This time I have parchment paper to put on top and squish. Remove the parchment paper slowly, as soon as possible. Press in your shape. Remove the shape. Hey, I mean, it's not pretty, but we're getting there. As you can see, listening to my mom paid off this time, and we are a lot better than where we were before. So what I learned in attempt number 4 is that patience is key. Now that we have the base of the technique down, well, let's improve with attempt number 5. Attempt number 5. Or if I edit this a different way, maybe it's attempt number 1, you never know. This time, we're using 3 spoons of sugar. Back onto medium, medium-low. We know what's working, we know what's not working. Let's try and figure out the optimal steps to this recipe. Equalize and start spinning. We are starting to get some nice juiciness happening. Bring it all together and keep spinning. We want all of these clumps of sugar to go away. We'll turn heat off. Keep mixing. At this point, our baking powder, mix. And now we'll bring all of our mixture onto our tray. Parchment paper on top, press. Wait for it to cool down just a bit. Slowly peel back and stamp as fast as possible. Any of the imperfections you can tap just a bit. Remove the heart shape, and there we have it. Our attempt number 5. By far the best, roundest, perfectest, if that's even a word, attempt we have right now. Now we will remove it after 25 seconds of waiting, and we'll place it to the side. As we can see, we clearly went from worst to best. Attempt number 1, we had some things that were going for ourselves. Attempt number 2, we took a step back, but people always say 1 step back, 2 steps forward. Well, I mean, number 3 wasn't great either, so we'll not look at that one. Number 4, things were starting to come together, and we got them at the end. Our perfect Dalgona dessert. It could still be a little bit better, but for my liking, it's fine. And now let's recap what we did for our 5th attempt. For our 5th attempt, we put the heat on medium-low. Then we added 3 spoons of sugar, roughly 45 grams, and then we added 1 pinch of baking soda, and we removed the heat. We then placed our mixture onto a silicone mat. With the help of wax paper, coated in non-stick cooking spray. We placed it on top, waited about 5 seconds, then we crushed it with a flat bottom surface, and we slowly peeled away our wax paper. Instantly after, we placed our heart mold on top, and we let it rest about 5 seconds before removing it. The best thing anyone can do is learn from your mistakes. Our first one, we had our pan too hot. Second one, too much baking soda. Third one, we were on the right track, but the pan was still too hot. The fourth one, we started to get things pretty well, but we didn't have enough sugar, so we had a small Dalgona. And the 5th one, we had a lot more sugar, the same amount of baking powder as this one, and the pan was a lot colder. Hopefully you see a drastic change in our technique, and the final product. And with that being said, let's serve and go. Our Dalgona cookie is done. Thank you guys all so much for watching my video. It was a different type of video today. It was a lot of fun to film. Let me know in the comments below if you like this type of video. And with that being said, I'll see you guys next week. See ya. Bye.